set up an organization which did employ people, the Grameen Bank, your own famous microfinance initiative, your biggest achievement. It helped you win the Nobel Peace Prize. On the one hand, it claims to have lifted 50 million borrowers in Bangladesh alone out of poverty. On the other hand, it's faced a lot of international criticism for creating a debt trap for the poor, for getting people to take out new loans to pay old loans, for representatives harassing villagers to the point where some have even allegedly had to sell off their organs to pay off loans. You didn't address any of the problems or controversies associated with Grameen Bank in your book. Why not?
All those things that you said is about microcredit, not about Grameen Bank. Look, nobody said Grameen Bank does that. They came up with an idea of what microcredit is. Please looked around the world, microcredit program here, microcredit program there.
No, Grameen was also accused of some of these behaviors.
Accused because
a study by Michigan State University looked at the organ trade in Bangladesh for 12 years, yes. Alleges that NGO officials from organizations such as Grameen Bank pressure people into repaying loans by sitting all day at their defaulter's house, verbal harassment, threatening to file police case. A lot of allegations.
I understand that.
I'm saying you don't even address them in the book.
Absolutely. No. This is not a book on Grameen Bank.
Well, you're talking about new models of doing business.
Yeah,
that's a business you were associated with.
Yes, of course.
Pretty controversial.
Yes, it's owned by the poor people. Grameen Bank is owned by the borrowers. They sit in the board. They make the decisions. So you don't think they will be making decisions to take organ from somebody else. They're elected by them. So these are stories, fictions created to make sure that they don't see that this is a solution of the world. They see some other solution.
You don't think any of the accusations or criticisms of Grameen are legitimate or justified?
Absolutely not.
You've investigated them?
All the time. This is our job because this is our borrowers, our board members. They will be directing the things, find out what is happening, because we don't have a principle in Grameen Bank of any punishment, any kind of punishment, even if you don't pay your loan.
So when, for example, France 24 reported on a former Grameen Bank debt collector a few years ago who said their technique is to scare borrowers and insult them. We tell them to sell their clothes. I'm not proud of myself. Several times I had even been obliged to say, sell your children. That we should ignore that kind of stuff?
Absolutely ignore it. These are cooked up stories. You never know who said what. So you have to go back to the basic principle. In Grameen Bank, there is no rule for any punishment for anything if you don't pay back. So all assumption is if you don't pay back, you'll be punished. There is no punishment because we let them go, because we know that someday or other they will come back and start all over again.
And you don't think Grameen Bank got anything wrong? There's been a lot of criticism about how you fix microfinance and microcredit. There's no, looking back on your years, there's nothing you would have done differently or better?
That's something else to improve. Of course, we keep on improving, but all those is something cooked up stories to make sure, because when Grameen Bank became very popular, some other people became very jealous. They have to say something to make sure people don't pay it. If we're kind of doing all those things, Grameen Bank will be over very soon. At that time, it didn't have 42 years of coming. And Grameen Bank Grameen program does work in the United States. If we are successful in doing organs and all that, we would have been doing that here too. Because here we have over 100,000 borrowers right here in the United States. And we are working for the last 10 years. And we have given out over $1 billion loan. And in 12 cities right now, 7 branches right there in New York City. So why didn't you find out? The system will be very clearly seen in this context, because you can cook up stories there. You cannot cook up stories here that they're selling organs and all.